Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the We're Not Stumped podcast. I'm your host, Mike Bolland, and welcome to Headlines. And this is for the week of September 2nd, and today is September 5th. And I hope everyone had a really safe and good holiday just a couple days ago. This is being recorded on a Wednesday, and I'll tell you what we did. We went up to the high country of Arizona, cooled off a little bit. So we had a really good time. We had a really good Labor Day weekend. Hey, if you haven't had a chance to listen to the last two podcasts, I strongly encourage you to do so. The very last podcast that went live was with Kim and Chris Castile from A New Life Prosthetics. Chris lost his leg early in life. I think he was like 21 years old, and he's since become a prosthesis, which is excellent, and he recently won an award. You'll hear his entire story along with his wife, Kim. Outstanding company, outstanding people. Give that episode a listen. And the week before that, I had the band The Resilient on, and they are made up of military veterans that unfortunately lost limbs during their service. But they have overcome that, and they've created a band called The Resilient, and you have to listen to that episode. It is fantastic. They make great music. I got their latest shirt. I got their shirt. They have merchandise. I got their shirt. I'm going to be posting a picture of me in their shirt on Instagram soon. Go to theresilientband.com, listen to their music. Go to A New Life AMP and check out Kim and Chris Castile. And while you're at it, go to we'renotstumped.com. And the reason why is, and I hope if you're not watching the video on YouTube, at least you can listen to this. I have these stickers, they're called, and they say, I'm not stumped. And what I'm trying to do with these stickers is just fund the program. You know, this program that it's become a labor of love for me. The people that I meet, the stories that I get to share and tell, it's just made me a better person. Hopefully you're enjoying it. And the sale of these stickers, I'm Not Stumped, just goes to help promote it even more. So please, if you get a second, go to we'renotstumped.com, check out these stickers. It says, I'm not stumped, because you know what? Just because we're missing a limb doesn't mean we're stumped in life. Matter of fact, a lot of times it means the exact opposite. And that I can tell from the stories that I am able to share, the people I get to interview. And there's some great interviews coming up. But like I said, the last two that I did, go listen to them. Go listen to Kim and Chris Castile, and go listen to the Resilient Band. Excellent people, excellent guests, and great stories. But let's get to the headlines right now. So headline number one. This comes out of Colorado Springs, and it's by Eleanor Sheehan. And this was on the website KOAA.com. And this has to do with Lexi Bader. And what it says is Lexi Bader was living out her dream behind the wheel. And they first introduced Lexi back in April. And when they did, they were talking about how she wanted to be a truck driver. So Eleanor caught up with Lexi 3 months later, which is this article, to see what she had accomplished and how the company that helped her get to her accomplishments, how that happened. And what Lexi said, it's a really good feeling, and I'm happy and I'm proud of myself. Lexi attended and graduated from the United States Trucking School in Fountain. She has accomplished what she set out to achieve. She is the first female double below-the-knee amputee to become a truck driver. Congratulations, Lexi. That's awesome. It's not just being behind the wheel, but I also love just how every day I'm learning something new, Lexi said. Being the first person ever to do something is not easy. I'm like, is this even possible? Lexi said. The schools never had even trained anyone with a disability. They had no idea where to go. Lexi said she had to jump through a lot of hoops to get her commercial driver's license, also known as a CDL. She said she has to take more tests than her other classmates. There's just like a lack of information, and it was very hard, but I really wanted to do it. Thank you for breaking those barriers, Lexi. Thank you for doing that. Determined, Lexi took the road less traveled and battled bumps along the way. I had a lot of people tell me, oh, you shouldn't do that, or oh, that's probably going to be really hard for you, or whatnot. I just kept pushing and studying and trying my best, Lexi said. Ignoring those who doubted her, which I think many of us in the limb loss community, probably all of us in the limb loss community have battled through that. But ignoring those who doubted her, Lexi passed the test and received her Colorado Class A CDL, which is, again, congratulations. I just kind of went for it. Didn't know where it could take me, but as soon as you get your Class A, you can pretty much drive anything, Lexi said. With her license, Lexi got a job working for EarthX, a landscaping company founded by Trevor Terrell in Colorado Springs. Thank you, EarthX, for taking a chance on someone. That's happened in my life, and sometimes, a lot of times, companies don't want to do that with people in the limb loss community. So thank you, EarthX, for doing that. Terrell started the company when he was 14. He would walk across the street to mow his neighbor's lawn. It has grown into a company that builds playgrounds, sports fields, and does developmental and commercial landscaping. And here's what Terrell said. Lexi is a huge inspiration to everyone who works here. She has a million different reasons why she could let this hold her back, and she doesn't. She is a victim of nothing, which is really cool and really refreshing. Well, thank you, Terrell, for doing that. But Lexi, congratulations on your accomplishment. I think that's fantastic. Keep going, keep pushing forward, keep telling your story. I love hearing this story. If you ever want to come on the podcast, of course, anyone that I spotlight on highlights is always welcome to come on, share their story, and tell your story. I mean, that's exactly what it's all about. And thank you for Eleanor from KOAA for highlighting Lexi and her accomplishments. Great job. And I'll have the link to all of this in the descriptions. So let's go to headline number 2. This one tugs at the heart a little bit. 12-year-old welcomed home by community following over 30 surgeries and getting his leg amputated. And this one comes from Brooklyn Coppinger, nonstop local. And this is from khq.com. So this was from Liberty Lakes, Washington. The Liberty Lakes community welcomed 12-year-old Ike Saturday afternoon from a hard recovery after doctors were forced to amputate his leg. And here's a quote from Jacob Rabe. I'm incredibly grateful that he's gotten so much support. Ike has been in the hospital for more than 2 months, and he's not felt the support like this, like the rest of us have, because he's been in Seattle under medication. But it's very important for us to make sure he felt loved and supported. I'm just grateful. When those who knew Ike heard that he was getting his leg amputated, a plan was made to welcome him home and offer love and support. The whole neighborhood lined the streets with signs, balloons, confetti cannons, and smiling faces as Ike was escorted home by the police and sheriff cars. That's totally cool. It's great to have this community come together. Great job, community, from Liberty Lake, Washington. As the story continues, Ike is extremely energetic and always has a smile on his face. A friend of many and very competitive, Quinn Lesage said, Ike's principal at Green Acres Middle School. When Ike became sick, we knew at the school we had to keep in touch with his family. Despite going through something tragic, Ike still has a big smile on his face, overjoyed that so many people came to see him. He said his recovery is going well, and he's excited to start school again. In early June, a rare infection called strep A toxic shock attacked Ike's muscles, which led to over 30 surgeries to remove muscle from both of his arms, back, and left leg. In order to save his life, doctors were forced to amputate his leg. He was in Seattle hospitals for months, recovering from constant surgeries. Ike's mom, Jill Rabe, also felt a warm welcome from the Liberty Lake community, not surprised by everyone's comfort during this tragic time for Ike and his family. I hope that this surgery doesn't stop him and that he can still do all the things he was going to do before, Ike's mom, Jill, said. Ike said his recovery is going pretty well, and he was excited to see his friends cheer him on. Well, Ike, I have a feeling you're going to accomplish anything you want in life. Continue to move forward, continue to push forward, continue to have that smile on your face, and congratulations and thank you to everyone in the Liberty Lakes area of Washington for making Ike feel as good as he did. Great story there, after some unfortunate beginnings at least. So let's go to headline number 3, Ride to Unite, a new calling for a former race champion turned amputee. And this article comes courtesy of Alex Gall, and I hope I'm saying that right. This is from First Alert 4, firstalert4.com, which I believe is out of St. Louis. It is out of St. Louis. So as the article goes, after a tragic accident took his leg, a local cyclist is forging a new path forward through hard work and community. At one time, conquering races every weekend was the norm for Dave Cummings, a lifelong St. Louis resident. He is a former champion of the Masters division, which is 40 and over, of the Tour de Francis Park, and along with his wife Wendy, is an avid bike rider and also outdoorsman. But 3 years ago, Cummings lost his left leg after a skateboarding accident. We were in Colorado and I just had a freak fall and bad injury, Cummings said. Since that day, he has worked tirelessly to become active, being fitted with a prosthetic leg that allowed him to ride again. In that time, he also found a new way to inspire others. 2 years literally on crutches, walking on crutches, Cummings said. No physical activity, no walking, no running, no cycling. All the stuff I'd love to do. And I needed to get back to do something that I love and something active. This Saturday morning, the Tour de Francis Park returned to South City, as did Cummings. But he is there for a different reason this year. Cummings was a guest speaker for the 2024 Ride to Unite, a free event began several years ago to promote cycling to all people, regardless of skill or disability. It's the kickoff for the day's racing, with participants traveling 5 laps of the course at their own pace. We all ride the same roads, whether you're a disabled or able-bodied person, and it brings people together, Cummings said of his message to the crowd. Cummings rode in the event last year, but unfortunately couldn't this year. A few weeks ago, he again was involved in an accident. This time, a pickup truck hit him while he was cycling. Sorry to hear that. He suffered broken bones, but he should recover in a few months, and he is determined to not let this affect his message that cycling is for anyone and everyone who wants to try it. This year's Ride to Unite was the 7th edition and the largest ride yet, with more than 200 participants making their way around the park. Well, again, great job, Dave Cummings, Wendy, all what you're doing, staying active, being the light for people, and showing that it doesn't matter about your disability. Get on the bike and ride. Great job. You want to come on the podcast? Anyone, any of these people I talked about on the podcast, today's episode of the podcast, in the headlines, please, you have an open invitation to come on and continue the great things you're doing. So that's it for the headlines for, what is it? It's the week of September 2nd, which again was Labor Day. I hope everybody had a good Labor Day. Today is September 5th. Do me a favor. Do me a personal, give me a hand. Look I got one hand. You can't give me a hand. Give me a hand. Like, share, and subscribe, because we need to get the algorithm out. We need to get these messages out. Not my voice. This is the voice of people that I have on this podcast that are making a difference every day. You're doing great things. Continue it. So like, subscribe, share this podcast. And you know what? Again, shameless plug. Go get one of these. They're only $5. I'm Not Stumped sticker. Put it on your water bottle. Show people that you're not stumped. And then I will reinvest that money into this podcast and promote it even more. So thank you so much for listening to Headlines for the week of September 2nd. I'm Mike Bolland. Have a great week.